friends, today I want to share two cases with you. Both of them are quite interesting. One case of my close relative, very close relative, she was having a severe sciatica. It was a right sided sciatica, and whenever she used to stand, it gets aggravated. Whenever she strengthens her leg, it gets aggravated in lying down position. But when she continues to walk, it used to settle. During continued motion, it used to settle. And she was quite oversensitive, sensitive to all reactions. Her mood was quite changeable. Number of times I have seen that it looks like a hysterical mood. So sometimes she is quite happy, sometimes suddenly she used to get off. So this was the case, and I'm as being a close relative, it was not possible to go into the details. But she asked me, "Please give me medicine." There was a question: is there any medicine for this problem in homeopathy? Because she was consuming allopathic tablets, painkillers. Even she has applied the lumbar traction, but it was not getting settled. So considering her mentals, considering her modalities, I chose one remedy. The remedy, generally we never think when there is a sciatica, and remedy is Valeriana. It was first time I have used for that purpose, Valeriana, for the sciatica, because I used to use Valeriana in hysterical patients. I used to use Valeriana even in GI troubles, sometimes globus hystericus. But I have never used Valeriana for sciatica. And to my surprise, that after giving Valeriana or after starting the Valeriana, within 2 days, her pains totally vanished. So Valeriana is having very typical sciatica, and that sciatica is having those modalities that whenever a patient used to stand, it gets aggravated. Strengthening of limbs aggravates the sciatica, and continued motion aggravates. So that was the modality which was very striking in that case. Another case was interesting for me. In fact, I have prescribed another remedy which never worked a day. The child was brought to me, and child was having vomiting, and that vomiting was typical that he used to consume the mother's milk. Child was just 8 months, and he used to consume the milk, and vomiting is like curdled milk. Everyone knows the remedy. So same thing, same mistake I have done. I have prescribed the ethizazine and asked them to come tomorrow. I was quite sure that child will be better. Again, to my surprise, there was no change. And then I asked into details what exactly happened. That mother of the child, she said, the day before yesterday, what has happened at the night, the child was not sleeping properly. And I was so exhausted, I become irritated. I was so angry on child, I show my irritability. And after that, I fed the child. And after that, he started getting the vomit. And it was like that. And in whole day yesterday, after giving your medicine, he had the vomiting like that. Also the diarrhea where the curdled diarrhea was there. So when I observed this in the book, the remedy is found to be a Valeriana again. And Valeriana, after prescribing the Valeriana, immediately the child was settled with the 1 or 2 doses of Valeriana, the diarrhea stopped. So this is a wonderful remedy, generally overlooked by the prescriber. And that's why it is too important to go through this remedy. We'll just see what is there in Valeriana from Allen's notes. Valeriana is Valerian. It is a Valerianaceae family. excessive nervous excitability, hysterical nervous temperament, like ignatia, like pulsatilla, like asafoetida, hysterical temperament is very typical with this remedy. So they are nervous, they are on tip of their nerves. That is, nervous excitability means they are too excitable at the nervous level. Persons in whom the intellectual faculties are predominant, there is changeable disposition like pulsatilla. So it goes very close to the pulsatilla like that. So hysteria, changeable disposition, mind, mood variable. This is Valeriana, like pulsatilla, ignatia. Red parts becomes white like ferrum metallicum. Feels light as if floating in the air. So this is a sensation, delusion. The patient feels light as if floating in the air like asaram, like lakcan. And as if the legs were floating in the air, it is the sticta. In sticta, I have seen that patient tells you, doctor, when I am walking, I feel that I never touches the ground. That is the typical sensation with which sticta comes. And sticta is having many rheumatic complaints. That happens because of the rheumatic complaints which appears at the feet level and produces as well, it produces neuropathy. At that time, sticta is very useful. Oversensitiveness of all senses like chamomilla, naxomica. The sensation of coldness in the head. If it is on vertex, sepia and veratrum album, these are two remedies. Sensation as if thread were hanging down in the throat. So there is irritation in the throat and something is hanging down. That is what he explains, patient explains. And if it happens to be there on the tongue, it is natrum uraticum or silicium. This is what was there in the patient. The child vomits curdled milk in large lumps, same in the stools, like ethuja, as soon as it has nursed after the mother has been angry. And this is very clearly mentioned over there that after the mother has been angry. Sciatica, pains aggravated when standing and letting the foot rest on the floor. So if the patient sits on the chair and feet are kept on the floor, the pains gets aggravated like belladonna. When strengthening out the limb during the rest from previous exertion, or if the patient is lying in bed and he strengthens the legs and sciatica increases, the Valeriana is a very important remedy. And sciatica better when walking. See, this looks very close to the rustox, but it is not rustox. So this is what we have to understand from the Valeriana. The relationship, compare the asafoetida, the asaram, the crocus, the ignatia, the laccaninum, the spigelia, and sulphur. Yes, these are the remedies which comes very close. In fact, I will say rustox also comes close to it. For the abuse of chamomilla tea, Valeriana is a very good answer. For the pains in the heels, there are many more remedies mentioned by Allen over here. Agaricus is mentioned, causticum, the cyclamen, the ledum pal, then manganum, and lastly the phytolacca. So Valeriana is generally overlooked remedy. It's specifically when we think of the sciatica or when we think about the GI trouble. So never forget using the Valeriana on specific modalities. So thank you. That's all for today. We'll meet again. Thanks a lot.